pretty look, you want to live a restaurant and come done man bank book. Cook, recipe book. Why in the kitchen cause you and them no look you better cook. Think you do you pay your pretty look, you want to live a restaurant and come done man bank book. Cook, recipe book.
So I'll just put that on record. That's good. Right. Cool. Quick setup. Oops. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome to another episode of Dean Unchained. I'm your host, E, aka Venom, aka Mr. Telly Like It Is. As per usual on the show, we discuss the battles of mating from a male perspective. And today's topic is, let's see, evaluation of the male and female sexual marketplace value, for short, SMV. But right before I dive into that, I just want to take a brief moment to contemplate with you guys and say a couple of thank yous to my father. And I highly recommend all the man them do this. Highly recommend because we do love our mothers so much. Sometimes we leave out our fathers. And gentlemen, it's time to give them their flowers a little bit, just a little bit, right? For those that still have their pups around, and for those that don't. Okay. So, Dad, if you're watching this, I would like to thank you for being. I would like to thank you for being the unwavering father that you have been, unwavering, rock solid of a father who you have been. Want to thank you for picking us back up when we fell down, being there for us financially and emotionally. I would like to let you know that you appreciate it. And although we don't show it often, we respect you and admire you to the highest regard. Okay? Right. Today as well, I had a crazy, I wouldn't say eureka moment. I had a crazy thing where I had a conversation with my dad and he was like telling me about certain things in in society, how it works, etc., etc. So I was, absorbing knowledge from him. Do you know what I mean? And I often do that with him because it's like, I mean, who else can I have these conversations with? You know what I mean? So we're not going to go into that today, maybe another day, but we're going to try and stick on topic, keep it short, concise. So, guys, bear with me. Right. So, SMV. Contrary to popular narrative, right? Men and women are not the same. Men and women are not the same and not equal. This is not me saying because I don't want people hitting me with the how dare you. Yeah, I don't want people hitting me
How
up with that,
dare
right?
you!
Or people talking about oh you're a misogynist, etc., etc. No, no, no. I've got sisters in my life. I've got mother. I've got this. I've got all of that. But men and women are not the same. Okay, one is not better than the other. One is not greater than the other. They just have different roles that they fulfill. So, in a structured environment, in a structured world, like the beautiful world we live in, every everything has its role and purpose and function. And it will be inadequate for one to try and fulfill another person's role when they're not suited for it. Right? So a woman trying to be a man, trying to suit that role, doesn't look good on her. It's practically repulsive for a woman to be in her masculine energy. Okay? Guys can be like, nah, sorry, I can't deal with that. Women probably like, oh, yeah, he can't handle a strong, independent woman. Nah, sorry. Brothers don't just want headache. They're like, nah, nah, nah. I'm good. I don't want headaches, right? There's the other type where it's like um, women who date guys who are extremely feminine. Do you know what I mean? They'll be like, yeah, I'm in touch with my feminine side, da 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 da. But they're always um, nagging. They're always complaining about stuff. Women are turned off by that. Do you know what I mean? Like they will have like a best friend or like a gay best friend or something like that, but they won't date their gay best friend. They will have him around, but they won't date him. Do you know what I mean? So if a man was to act feminine as such, a woman won't consider him as you know a potential mating candidate. She will be like, nah, excuse me, not trying to get involved, right? We can keep it friend zone, friends with benefits, whatever you call it. So we've established they're not the same. They fulfill different roles, and yeah, so they're simply different in nature, physically. Uh, what's that other one? Is it physio? No, not physiotherapy. uh, yeah, I'll try to create words. No, they're also different in terms of like, do you know what I mean? I think it's physiology. Yeah, the anatomy of the. Do you know what I mean? They're also different in that sense, right? Now, a man's sexual marketplace value, and I know guys are gonna come at me for this. Okay, guys they're gonna come at me for this, but it's real. It is real. The a man's sexual marketplace value is based on his potential to earn or his earnings. So his potential to earn and his earnings, his potential to secure, provide in terms of providing security, and his potential I mean, his potential to provide security and the security he provides. Do you know what I mean? If he's already rich, if he's already, uh, I wouldn't use the term rich because that has different meaning to it. Because rich, what's rich to me could be different to someone else, right? But his potential earnings, etc., and the potential security that he will be able to provide. So, and you will often see women saying, "Yeah, I think I see potential in him. Like, I see he's a go-getter." Or you will see women attracted to the guy who's already an earner, right? That's the that's what the man's sexual marketplace value is based on. Okay, and history has proven that as well in terms of this genome study that I came across. Um, women, women about I think it's about they said 2,000 to 4,000 years ago, the ratio of men mating with women was 1 to about 18. 1 to 18. Can you imagine that? So the other men were practically invisible to women. All the women were gravitating towards the wealth holding man. Those men that were piling up wealth, etc., and wealthy and successful within their own rights in their society at the time. So that's one. Now, contrary again to popular narratives out there, the girls are gonna attack me on this. I don't want to hear, "Oh, you're a misogynist." Exactly. I don't want to hear none of that, right? You're a misogynist. You're this. You don't love your mother. You got no. I love all the women in my family. Okay, but women's sexual marketplace value is always and will always be based on their looks. That's for one, on their looks. Now, two, on their fitness. Three, their femininity, how feminine they are. But I'll put a personal one of mine. Okay, a personal favorite of mine is based on her moral stance, like her moral code of ethics, right? That would be the primary for me. But the three I've listed before are the standard ones they're based on. That's why industries such as makeup, lashes, and clothing, and all that jazz, pardon me, they will never, they will never go out of business. Those places will never go out of business. Okay, they're always gonna be there. Always, always gonna be there, and women are always gonna purchase, trying to acquire the best look, what the latest look is. I mean, look at Instagram, look at Twitter, look at all this celebrity that these women aspire to be like. I mean, we laugh at it, but it's quite shallow sometimes. When you look at it, you're like, yo, do you know what I mean? And women hate that fact. They're like, oh, he only liked me for my looks. Like, I want him to. But we know realistically, the first thing a man sees on a woman is her looks. Okay, is her looks. You ever had like a group of people, for example, right? You have let's take a quick scenario here. You have like you have Daniel and Chloe. Chloe is chatting to her girls. She's like, "Oh my God, la da la da da! I've met Daniel. Mm, crazy guy. Do you know what I mean?" And now Chloe's friends are like, "Oh, what does he do?" That's usually the question, right? What does he do? And women don't even know why they ask these questions. I'll tell you why. Because like the human biology, you can't cheat the human biology. Okay? Women are set up. The biology of the woman is set up in such a way that she always looks for security. She always looks for security and comfort, right? So if that is able to be provided, um, I hate to say it, but she goes to the highest bidder, quote unquote, hypergamy. Okay, because you would see even in history when tyrants, I mean conquerors such as Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, when this individual went to conquer a place and destroy lands or whatever it is, they got rid of the men, got rid of the men, and the women got on board with the program. Okay, most of the women got on the board with the program. So the victor, the women waited for the victor in those battles, and they just got along with the winner. So it's like there's a race. Women stand at the finish line and they wait for the first to cross the finish line. So whoever's first to cross the finish line, that's who gets the women. Right? So let's get that straight. Now, if we look at men from a historical and like statistical standpoint as well, you see that only a few number of men have been able to pass on their progeny, that have been able to procreate over time with the majority of women. And I believe the stats stood at around 15 to 20% of men had successfully managed to mate with about 90% of women till this day. Till this, to this day. So now, if you are looking to say, as a woman, you're looking to say, um, my sexual marketplace value is quote unquote uh such and such and such. You know, is high because I'm a high caliber woman. I earn this much money. I'm an exec. I'm a this. I'm a that. Look, all those accolades and achievements, they're beautiful. They're good. Okay, but they're only good for you because I'll be honest, men do not care. Men do not care about your accolades. Do you know what I mean? Men don't care about your accolades. They don't care about that, what you've achieved. Okay? The 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 structure of this world has always been set up for men to be providers. And I'll just want to double down on that previous point is that women can achieve all of this, right? But they achieve all of that for them. They don't achieve all of that to benefit other people. They achieve all of that to say, look at me. Okay? And a woman is never set up to achieve, go through all those achievements to then be able to provide for a man. Women can't do it. They simply can't do it. Okay? Women simply can't do it. Right? So it's funny, but it's the truth. Whereas men throughout history, okay, are happy to provide for many women. Throughout history, men will gladly provide for women. And they will never in a day count a penny that they've spent on a woman. Whereas, I mean, if the regular Joe tries to be jobless for more than 6 months, his partner is going to dump him. Well, sorry, Dave, can't be with you. All right? You're like, wait, what? Babe, I thought you were my ride or die. You're going to be with me and all of that. Nah, sorry, I can't be with you. You need to fix up. You know, pull yourself by your bootstraps kind of thing. Right? I'll be like, pattern up. You're lazy. You remember the TLC song? I don't want no scrub. Scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Sitting on the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to get it. Do you know what I mean? Those, are, those, those are the innate things in women that literally it can't. Like it goes against her genetic code. Like that's her genetic code. So the minute you kind of like you kind of put her in that position, that emasculates her. The minute you put her in that position, she feels emasculated and she loses respect for you. Okay? The minute she's in that position, she feels emasculated. Sorry. Oh God. No, it doesn't. It emasculates the man. Okay? He emasculates the man and he makes the woman, puts her in a masculine energy. Right? They and do bear with me. The women that are capable of providing for a man and holding down her man, etc., etc. But they're not able to hold down their man indefinitely. Okay, very few are capable of doing that. There have been some women throughout history that have done it, but you can count them from your fingertips, and you probably don't get past your middle finger. Okay, very few women are capable of doing that for indefinite number of years or something. Now, as a man, as a guy who is, you hold your own, you know, you are driven, you about your stuff. You always need to be on top. You always need to be like, dominant. Like you always need to be dominant. Like you always need to be able to decide quick, assertive, um, like and responsible with your ideas, and do you know what I mean? Otherwise, you will put her in that position. And a feminine woman is not comfortable in that position where she has to tap into her masculine energy in order to provide for you and her. Some women today might have legal businesses to do so, but other women will have to resolve to you know in its regard. Is the oldest profession in the world, but I don't see any man being comfortable sharing his woman with other men in that sense. I mean, apart maybe from a gigolo who's just there to finesse her, right? Now, there's another thing with women today that stands, and they presumably think men are not men are not romantic, or they don't feel as much um they don't feel as much pain from like a breakup, or from a divorce, etc., etc., as much as women do. And that's simply untrue. Okay? That's simply untrue. There's this meme that's been going up online about what artist Summer Walker. She popped out a new album and everything else. And I'll tell this, okay? Men love more than women. They feel more than women. Okay? They love more and they feel more than women. And the love for women is actually, I'm trying to not use the word pure, but their love for women is actually unconditional. Right? Let's just put it like that. Is unconditional. They love women just for them. They just like love women for who women are. But women love men on conditions. Condition of being an earner, condition of being a potential earner, and if she doesn't see that potential, she will bounce, which we talked about hypergamy, right? Um, throughout history, throughout history, men have come up with various ways to express their love to women, their feelings and emotions to women. Men feel and love harder than women, and men are more invested in relationships than women. And I'll tell you why. For one, men don't have the outlet that women have to express their emotions 24/7, quote unquote, nagging. Okay? Men don't have that outlet because, as a man, uh, the hegemonic code you need to abide by is man up, pattern up, fix up. Men don't do that. You know, be stoic, keep your chest up, keep your head up, that kind of stuff. But women is more of like a 27 thing where they nag, they nag, they nag. I want yo, you're not doing this. I want that. You promised me this. You know what I mean? So that is the kind of energy. Okay. And men throughout histories, the likes of William Shakespeare, right? They've written countless novels of poetry to express their love to women. You all know the Romeo and Juliet situation, right? You all know the Romeo and Juliet situation. Um, Men have written love songs about women. Li- like, if you there's a catalog of love songs, and there's this old saying, like one of my friends kind of reminded me about today. We go back home is that men write love songs to express their love to women. Women write breakup songs for unfulfilled uh, promises or unfulfilled expectations from a man. That's why they write breakup songs, emotional breakup songs, is emotional complaint songs. Okay, I thought he was gonna be this, but he turned out to be that. So that's just one aspect of it. Now, when we come to divorcing, since women already have an abundance mindset, not even an abundance mindset because they want to, because they suffer from whatever it is, high self esteem. No, no, that. Since they already have an abundance mindset, right? Because they already have um male, they constantly have the male gaze looking at them, okay? An abundance of male sexual attention, right? So when a woman divorces or breaks up, she already has a list of men, like the male orbiters. She already has a list of men waiting in line. We call that, I think in the modern dating scene, we're like, oh yeah, send application. She broke up. She removed her man from her profile. We need to send, like, we were lurking. Now let's send applications. Like, here's my CV, man. Check me out. Right? So, so that's literally like how it goes. Do you know what I mean? Like, boom, man, them are like, I need to send my CV. Like, this is it. So women already have that lined up. Whereas men, I don't care how good looking you are, how wealthy you are, how popular you are, we still don't get that abundance of women coming at us. We still don't get that abundance of women coming at us. Even if we have all that celeb and popularity status, as women do. And the average woman gets more than that. In comparison to a celebrity male or wealthy male, right? The average woman gets more than that. So when men are hit with divorce, and I'll say this, men are problem solvers, right? Men are problem solvers. They want to protect their legacy, what they worked for. They want to ensure the future of their progeny, etc. When that happens, when that family structure is destroyed for a man, it, like when that family structure is destroyed for a man, oh gosh, it literally kills him. It literally on what's the word? It undoes or is it undone? Undoes? Anyways, he undoes the work that he's strived for his whole life. And the Samaritans came out with a very like important statistic, which I love. It was based on male suicide after relationships. You guys can go check this out. He says 3 out of 5 men kill themselves after divorces or after breakups. It's more suicide in men than women. Men suffer more from it. Men suffer more from it. They have more heartache and more. It's just they can't express it. It's just they can't express it 24/7 like women do. There's no support group for that. There's no like, bro, come here. We're gonna give you this and that. Do you know what I mean? There's no, yeah, you can have the house and there's a girl lined up for you as well. Just you just move in with her and all of that. No, there's none of that. Okay, literally none of that. So I say this to mean this, right? Women need to sometimes, and this is a piece of advice to women because you sure do need this. Sometimes you need to get out of your own head. Get out of your own head and observe and see what your man is going through and see what you're putting him through. Get out of your own head and see what you're putting him through. Um, I'm going to dive briefly into uh, something as well pertaining to divorces and like breaking up relationships, breaking up marriages, etc. The number one topic, because I did say I wasn't going to do this, but the number one topic today among uh, black academics and scholars and uh, people with literacy is how do we build our generational wealth? How do we build our generational wealth? And I'll say the more you keep divorcing, the more you break your lineage. And the more you mess up your lineage, the more you start the race from scratch, the very beginning. Okay? Because a lot of people say, "Oh no, we have unfair advantages." Do you know what I mean? Like we this is unfair. We unfair advantages. You want to know why you have unfair advantages? It's because you keep popping babies out of the blue with random weed guys. Keep popping out the babies out of the blue with random bad boys. Keep popping babies out of the blue with um drunkards, alcoholics, and what's the other guy? Druggies, etc. Right? So no, you won't have it. I say people say life is a race. It's not a race. It's a marathon. No, life is not a flipping marathon. That's wrong. Life is a relay. Okay, life is a relay, and I'll explain this to you. From one generation to another generation, to another generation, to another generation. You hold the baton, you hold the stick, right? You run with it. You reach to a certain stage. you're tired, and that stage obviously is maybe your 60, 70, which is your time to die. You pass the baton to the people coming behind you, right? So you're literally running from here and you stop there. So whoever's coming behind you, you pass the baton to them. So they pick up from here to continue the running with it. But here's what happens when people decide to divorce and break the family structure. Because I'll be honest with you, like most of my generation today, everyone just says, "Oh, marriage is just a piece of paper." Are you silly? Are you dumb? Marriage was brought to protect lineage. Marriage was brought to protect lineage, and the carriers of lineage and culture are not men. Okay? Because we die like weeds. Okay? We die like weeds. We die like weeds. Okay? Men come and go, like women stay behind, etc., etc. Men teach culture to women, and women need to pass this culture down to the progeny, to men and to their sons and daughters, etc. Okay, so when a man is running the race, the relay, right, he stops there and passes the baton. But if the woman decides to break up and destroy that structure that's in place, what happens is that what happens is that now those kids that he's left behind, they're not picking up the stick from there. They're not picking up the stick from here. They're picking up the stick from the scratch. They're starting from scratch, from the startup line, where others, people of other races, let them be Asian or white, they're picking up the baton from where the previous generation left it. They're picking up the baton from where the previous generation left it, and they run with it. If you look at all the big firms and all the big conglomerate corporations, they all started as family businesses. Okay, so women. Actually, before I conclude, I just want to take this analogy that I should have said this at the beginning, but and it's a bit of a financial tip as well to to people that are not financially literate, etc. Men are like penny stocks. Okay, men are like penny stocks. If you don't know what penny stocks is uh, startup companies that have low shares on the stock market that are practically that's the starting prices are from maybe $3 or $5 and up, etc. Right, but maximum that you will see from a penny stock is probably $10. Right, that's what that is. And tons of massive companies today that we brag and love, such as Apple, started on penny stocks. Okay, they all started on penny stocks, and also Mazda and everything else. Right, men are like penny stocks. For every penny stock, for like 500 penny stock companies, only maybe three or four out of them will become successful. From 500 penny stock companies, only three out of them will be successful. So men are very high risk with potential of high returns if their women believe and support them. So penny stocks. Women are kind of like premium bonds. Premium bonds are, yeah, she's from the get go, she's good, she's suitable, she really has no, she doesn't gain any interest. So no additional gain, no interest. Okay? No additional gain, no interest. Now, the only time a woman or a premium bond gains interest, that is based on the sort of male attention or potential buyers that come in and propose a sum estimate for that bond. That's how that bond gets traction. The value of it goes up, and you purchase the bond for like a cash price that you win later on. So, and this bond, once is being purchased, once it's been bought, it's only valuable to the investor. It's only valuable to the investor. So I say that to mean this. For example, my very own mother, okay? She's precious to me. She's precious to my father. But to any other man out there, to any other person out there, no, she's not. No, she's not. To any other person out there that is not related to her, that has not um, been a fruit of her labor, she's not valuable. She she's not valuable to any other man out there, right? But she's a sh- she's a diamond. She's a star to our family. Whereas the man, on the other hand, okay, the man, on the other hand, being the penny stock, if it's one of the, if he's one of those penny stocks that so happen to be successful, oh, his value just skyrockets as much as people interested, because if now Apple Apple stocks were at like $5 when Apple started initially about 20 years ago. Okay, now Apple stocks are around maybe $400, right? So not anyone can afford them, and maybe when you afford, you pay for that, you get a fraction of what you pay for. Okay, so that is the difference. Sorry for using that analogy, but to conclude now, women, this is my advice. If you want to build generational wealth, the safety that you so desire for yourself and your children, the the lack of suffering and everything else, do not mess up your marriages. Do not mess up your marriages. Okay? Well, that's all for me tonight. I was 45 solid minutes. So we'll leave it at that. Till next time, I was your host, E, and this was Dean Unchained Podcast. Peace.